Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. The Labour Party conference continues unabated and unloved, and all those strange, weird and bent and corrupt people gathering in Liverpool are being forced to listen to Rachel Reeves as she tries to make excuses for all the terrible things she's doing. In the midst of this, a man stands up and starts protesting. He's going on, banging on about Gaza, and nobody cares. And yet the whole hall rings out with boos, not the good stuff, obviously. No, people going, boo, sit down, shut up, because apparently under Labour you're not allowed to protest. They don't like it. They don't like being told things that they don't want to hear. And so Rachel Reeves was very annoyed at it and was basically saying that you shouldn't be protesting, because after all, the last thing the Labour Party want are protesters. This is why they keep locking people up. How dare you protest against us? How dare you say things that we don't like? Protesting against the Labour Party is a crime in Starmer's brave new Britain. That's why so many people are doing so many years. And as soon as the gulags open in Estonia, expect a lot more people to be filling up those spaces soon. Dissidents mainly. But the man was forcibly ejected. He was picked up by the goons, thrown out, and then Rachel Reeves continued with her diatribe of why pensioners are bastards and why, despite all the lies about the £22 billion black hole being found out, plus the bonus £10 billion they inherited just a couple of days ago from the Bank of England and its changing of rates, they are still going to go ahead with cutting taxes and raising interest rates and cutting services and making life miserable. The whole plan, of course, is to make everybody poor. They will be looking at the wholesale destruction of the housing market next. Most people have their wealth tied up in their homes. If you can destroy that wealth, then people will never be free. They will never be able to get out. They will never be able to protest properly because they'll own nothing and they'll be happy. Or if they're not happy, they'll be homeless. Social credits are coming. This is why they want to get rid of cash. This is why they want digital currency, so they can mock, so they can track every bit of money you spend. So they know when you're buying the various things that they don't want you to buy and then punish you. Oh, you're not going to go on that list. Oh, you will be forbidden from doing this and so forth. This is a Marxism of an order we've never experienced on this planet before. It is a communist USSR type bloc, but without the friendliness and freedoms available in the USSR. This is outright downtrodden face of humanity with a boot pushed against it forever. And it's Starmer's boot at the moment. There will be, I think, a revolution. The way that they are pushing this is inhumane. The unions are against it. The unions are rejecting it. They're not actually cutting the funds to the Labour Party, so they're probably not that much against it, but they say they're against it. And unless we have some kind of general strike, but not aimed at the people, but aimed at the politicians. So find out where the politicians live. Don't take away their rubbish. Don't service their homes. If you're going to have electrical blackouts, cut it to that particular area where the politicians live. Make sure Westminster is permanently blacked out and so forth. Target the action. Target it against them. Make their lives misery. They'll soon come to heel. They have to remember, we are many. They are few. We will win. One only has to look at the likes of Ceausescu to see how to treat these people. Once they see that, they may change their tune a little, whistle a happier tune and try and force themselves to remember that they serve us. It is, without doubt, a deliberate plan, and it is obvious to all, and yet there are still people who support them. These criminals, these corrupt, thieving, greedy, grasping bastards. Do as I do, not as I say kind of thing. They are not going to back down. We must force them to. I don't know of any government in history in the Western world that's been basically as bad as this in terms of wanting to deliberately destroy the country that they're controlling, and all because of a 20% vote. I think it's time we said enough and no, and rejected it and demanded another general election, but this time not on first past the post, but on some form or other of proportional representation. At that point, you would have a government not capable of pushing extremist and damaging policies. Or a revolution, I'm not fussed which. But when you see what they're doing and what they're planning to do, everything is designed entirely to destroy the economy. High taxes destroy an economy. Increasing the taxes on things that should never be taxed in the first place will destroy the economy. Bureaucracy destroys the economy. Driving wealth out destroys the economy. No one will want to open a company or expand or perceive any kind of entrepreneurship. They'll do it, but not here. They'll go abroad. They'll live in a foreign country and do it there. And we're watching all other countries booming as this one sinks into the hegemony of communism and of white replacement policies as well. Look at Germany closing down the borders. Look at Poland closing down the borders. Look at Netherlands closing down the borders. Look at Hungary closing down the borders. Look at Britain opening them up, letting in increasing numbers, uncontrolled, unpoliced, unmitigated, undeserving immigration of people who hate us, who loathe our history, our cultures, our way of life. And it can be stopped immediately. And yet he, Starmer, and his brigade of traitors continue to push for the opening further immigration, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of the world's trash to come in and replace us. They're doing it deliberately. They want Britain gone because Britain is strong, and a strong Britain can save the world. They did it under Napoleon's era. They did it for the First World War. They did it in the Second World War. They'll do it again if they're allowed. And for Starmer and his bunch of wankers, they must destroy Britain because it cannot be allowed. It's time to see them for what they are and to deal with them for what they are. Thank you very much for listening. I do not know how to suggest that we do anything, because if I say do something, it opens me up. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to say think, each and every one of you. Till next time, goodbye.